am Adrian Beer, and I am the storyteller of this campaign. Thank you so much for joining us here at the Beer Pen. We are having a wonderful time as we continue telling this fantastic story. As always, thank you so much to all of the people that are giving us follows, that are giving us subscriptions, and just generally retweeting our stuff. And we hope you're enjoying the story. We're having a lot of fun telling it as well. And just a little bit of an announcement, we are doing a charity all day long stream on May 7th, which we're calling Moon May, and we're doing it in support of the New York Wolf Conservation Center. So if you guys like wolves and the keystone species, come join us for a full day of wolf or werewolf adjacent themed games, and you can support this amazing charity. So why don't we go ahead and jump to all my wonderful, wonderful people here, and we can all say hello and introduce ourselves. We'll go, I think, backwards this time, and we'll start with Glyza. Glyza, why don't you go ahead and tell us who you're playing and who you are and where folks can find you on the internet.
Hello, hello. My name is Glyza. I'm a person of many hats. I'm a podcast host. I'm a writer. I'm a streamer. But you're here for TTRPG, so that's what I am. I'm a TTRPG performer. I'm on a lot of shows on a lot of different channels. So why don't you just go to bio.link/classical Glyza to find everything that I'm doing, but also check out at classical Glyza on Twitter, because that's where I make almost all of my announcements. Actually, that's where I make all of my announcements. But also, I shit post a lot, and I think I'm hilarious sometimes, and I'm always a delight. But yes, tonight I will be playing Lady Salome. She's a drow royalty, and she's definitely not in a fake relationship. Nope, nope, nope. That's not a thing that's happening. So there's no fake lover situation here. That's not real.
That's an
Oh, it's
absolutely
actually real.
legitimate,
It's a real love story.
absolutely real, 100%.
100%.
Speaking of that fake lover, I mean real lover, let's say hi to Ree. Why don't you go ahead and tell us who you are and who you're playing?
Hello, everyone. So I am at Big Dudery on all the socials, so you go there and check out to find out everything I'm doing. But just a really quick thing is the live premiere of the Rerolls channel and our new D&D campaign is coming up on Sunday at 9, so you should definitely check that out on Twitch.
Oh, yeah.
But tonight I am playing... Yeah, but tonight I'm playing Amars Kelners, who is really just here to find his sister, so you can leave these strange people in their strange world behind. Really, he's just caught up in their chaos. But yeah, we'll see how that goes.
For sure, we shall indeed see how that goes. Next up, we're going to say hello to Tuxel, our wonderful Anne.
Hi everyone, my name is Ann Pierce. You can find me at _Ann Pierce _. You can also find me here again on the Bear Pen on Sundays doing Undead in Dallas. It's a vampire game, nothing shady going on there. Tonight I am playing Tuxel. She is a high elf druid and she's kind of along for the ride. Let's see what happens.
Indeed, let's see what happens. All right, next up, we're gonna say hello to our amazing friend Dom.
Hello, I'm Dominic. I do a bunch of little things around the Bear Pen, art and so on and so forth. I am playing Jock, the weirdly fungal goat guy. And yeah, we'll see what happens here. I'm excited to get back into it.
The weirdly fungal goat guy. It's a great description.
The technical title. That's what they call me at the Nowhere's Guild.
Indeed. Next up, we're gonna say hello to our fantastic Di. Di, why don't you tell us who you are and who you're playing?
Hi, I am playing Zashi, they, them, monk, amazing, or at least they think they are. They're probably not as cool as I think they are, but that's okay. You can find me also on the Cookout TTRPG in the Reclamation campaign as mayor, and you can find me mostly on Twitter, just sort of saying whatever hits my brain, which is pretty much anything.
Which is great and valid. And as for myself, I am Adrian, as I said, and I'm the storyteller here, and I am also a player on a number of games. I also play in Reclamation along with Di on Kira's channel, The Cookout, so you can watch that on YouTube. And I am also the storyteller for Blood on the Bayou, which will be coming back in late June, which is going to be awesome. And aside from that, just super happy to be here and super excited for Moon May. So make sure you guys tune in for that. It's going to be so much fun. Absolutely so much fun. All right, so we are going to go ahead and dive into our intro. Hello, everyone. Welcome back. Where last we had left our unifiers, they had made their way to the Undercity in Moranzen, where they had decided, upon Lady Sloma's request, to check up on her parents with possible ulterior motives of introducing them officially to Amaris, her paramour, as Lady Salome had not really wanted to marry the person that her parents had suggested, and had decided that, well, maybe I just tell them I'm seeing someone else, and that'll go perfectly well. Upon getting to the Bowstone Manor in the Undercity, they had met with Praetor Jex, who is Lady Salome's father, and he had mentioned that upon hearing from Lady Salome that it looks as if Chiron of House Metzley had been involved in some of the attacks on the city. Her father had displayed a little bit of, shall we say, chagrin, perhaps, or trepidation, or WTFness, as it appeared that the Grand Matron and the eldest daughter of House Metzley were in fact visiting the Bowstone Manor at this very point in time. The unifiers had all gathered in one of the back gardens to have a bit of a chat with Lady Sloma's parents and enjoy some food, and discussed a few things with Philandria, who showed very little concern, it seems, or empathy for a number of fallen people during the battle that had taken place in Moranzen just the day before. Her grandmother, the Grand Matron Ilia, shut her down quite swiftly and reminded Philandria that it is the duty of the Drow noble houses to take care of the needs of the people and to honor the dead, as is their custom. A few tense discussions later, and a bit of history delving had led them to discover a book of tales from a bard that had lived hundreds of years ago and had written just a massive, massive volume on all of his supposed journeys, the bard by the name of Jestin Lacal. The reason for this is that it appeared in one of Emars's scryings that his sister might somehow be connected to this group, or this potential cult, perhaps, known as the Oxala Lives faction. And, well, it seemed as if this location that had been hinted at might be the same location as was described in one of the tales written by Justin Lacal. On the tramway to actually head towards the manor of House Metzle to perhaps do a little bit of breaking and entering and see if some dirt could be discovered on Philandria, they had met an elderly deep gnomish gentleman who had said that there was a bit of unrest going on in the fishing village of Ilin, which he was from. It seems that over the past couple of weeks, young girls had gone missing, and it seems almost every night a very young girl had been taken, and the gentleman had come seeking the help of the Huntmaster in perhaps locating what might be hags at the root cause of this. The Unifiers had agreed to postpone their breaking and entering and to help out this gnomish gentleman, and contacted the Huntmaster in order to meet them in the Undercity at the Academy. The Academy being where many of the people in Morans, and indeed lots of the guilds, send people to train in various disciplines. They can study various forms of arcana there, medicine, tinkering, all kinds of things at the Academy. It is probably one of the better academies in the world of Thala, at least amongst the known cities. They had met with Headmaster Huitzilin, who had not been able to tell them too much extra about hags, although Amaris recalled a number of different pieces of information, but they had decided to join up with the Academy, potentially, in order to get better access to their facilities, buy cheaper spells, and also be able to check out tomes instead of just having them scribed. And this is where we join everyone on our show tonight. So, Headmaster Huitzilin has taken you all into another office and said, well, depending on who actually wants to enroll here, there are many different curricula you can undertake, and there are many among the guilds which spend their time actually furthering their studies here when they have their off time. So we have special programs set up in that we understand many of the different guild members have some responsibilities to attend to, so they cannot be in classes every day, but there are distance learning opportunities and actual in-lecture opportunities that they can attend as well to further their knowledge if they would like. So we can fill these out for you. What all were you interested in undertaking? We have many, many different courses here. We have various scientists. We have artificers, laboratories where you can learn a bit about that if you like. We have different medical facilities where you can learn about biology, necromancy, different life-giving things. Almost everything you could want to be at a place of learning is here. So what would you be interested in?
Do you have anything that's sort of like theater and literature? based?
We do, yes. A number of bards actually end up coming to this college as well because we have quite a wonderful library here. So we have an active dramatical society and a theater and literature based program. If that is something you would be interested in undertaking.
Perfect. I would like to learn more about acting and making sure that my skills in that area continue to blossom and become better.
Of course, we'll put you down for a couple of courses there, and I will give you this. And he hands you a booklet for you to peruse, just with different courses that you might want to select and when you might be able to attain some of these or attend some of the lectures and such. And as for the rest of you,
How long does education here last?
well, if you were a full-time student, it would take you roughly 4 years to get to, shall we say, a graduate level. But if you are pursuing deep arcane studies, that would take you, well, probably closer to 7 to 10 years, depending on what exactly the levels you are hoping to achieve. Doing things via distance learning and taking your time, well, there's no real time limit. So that is more up to you and when you can complete assignments and how things go.
Yes, obviously.
Lady Salome, understanding that Amars doesn't understand time, really goes, it's a lot longer than what you would think it would be. So, but since you're not an actual student, it would be a shorter thing.
And
Okay.
as we had mentioned before, yes, for our actual students, there is a, well, you get quite a substantial discount on the learning of new spells and new abilities as such, as opposed to the scrolls that we produce for the general public. As well, this is mostly how we fund our research, is by selling to outside entities which might be wanting to learn some of these things. So whereas it would cost you, as I had mentioned, roughly 5,000 to 6,000 gold for your higher circle spells, for one that is produced by a master. And if you are a student here and enrolled, that would actually only end up costing you, shall we say, for something of the 8th circle, around about 1,000 gold as opposed to 5,000. We like to make this more affordable, and at that level of studies, mages are often employed in such a way as to be able to make such funds. So we believe it's a reasonable price. Now, how about yourselves? I forgot if I got all of your names, and he is looking to actually everyone. Actually, come to think of it, I don't think I ever got your names. I know I introduced myself.
Oh, I apologize. I thought you had known me just because of, the circles that I run in. My name is Lady Salome of the Beastone family.
I, of course, know who you are, my lady.
I'm sorry. Awesome. Thank you.
Yes. Your house's reputation is stellar.
And my name
Amaris
is.
Canaros.
Oh,
How delightful. It has such a foreign sound on my ears. I quite like it.
It's a wonderful name.
my name is Tuxel. Do you have a hag killing class?
You had mentioned about the hags. Yes, I had not forgotten. I would say that you would probably want to, if you are looking to enroll, then we have different biology courses. There is a comparative biological studies, which you would find out more about the different denizens and beings that are on Thala. And actually, if you wanted to, I would be able to just introduce you to that lecturer as I was intending to. I believe that she has no class at the moment, so we should be able to catch her in her studies. Yes, but actually, some of you might you'd probably be aware of her, as it is not, well, shall we say, not common for the upper nobility amongst the noble dragonborn houses to spend their time as lecturers here. This would be this would be Mistress Otley of House Bagheera. And for those of you, especially Lady Salome, who would be more versed in this, you know that they are the Green Dragonborn noble house.
Nice.
Now,
if you enroll, is there lodging?
of course, yes, we do have dormitories available on campus and off campus. That is one of those things. You would have to provide yourself with your own, obviously, food and upkeep of your own domicile, but we can provide you with some form of lodging at a small cost.
That would be fine too. Just a pond.
It strikes me that all of you seem to be very fatigued. Would you like to continue this at a bit of a later date and come back?
Yes, I do believe even if we aren't officially enrolled in the school, if we could perhaps take use of some empty dormitories, just feels like offering 4 to 8 years of our lives in pursuit of studies. Perhaps we should have a nap first, rest our bodies and our minds.
Naps are the key to a long and healthy life. It is how I keep my youthful figure. So
Glyza, the player, agrees 100%.
Jock is actually falling asleep with his like chin stuck on its little staff.
Oh my goodness!
He's been out for a little while.
Come. Let me help you out. I don't believe there's that I'd be able to find something empty on this short of an occasion, but come with me. I will arrange lodgings for you.
Thank you.
And he leads.
Shock a little poke.
He leads you back, actually, into his own office, which we had described, which is nicely decorated, a little Spartan, but it's very. He's very zen and youthful about a lot of things. This is just his general sort of style. So there are definite. He's quite proud of his heritage, so that there are woven textiles that are unique to the Undercity and Drow culture that you would see in some of the areas here. You can actually see on his desk, Lady Salome, you would pick this out as it's not something that many people still do. In fact, very, very few Drow even still know how to do it. But you see that on his desk there is a cylinder that is sort of lifted up at the moment. The lid of it is lifted up, and there is sort of a rod that connects it, and almost like little branches connecting off this rod. But on the table itself, you see that there is a how long would it be? It would be about 60 centimeters, or that's like 2 feet if you had to
Mhm.
unwind it. But it is a thin woven rope with different lengths of rope that come off of it, and there are knots that are done in certain places. And this is a way of recording information, one of the earliest ways of recording information among the Drow society, is known as kipu knots.
Mm.
So people to be still able to do this, it's very rare. It's very
Mhm.
rare that people are able to read kipu or even be able to do it. So you notice that.
Would I be able to read it
How
as a keeper?
uh there's potential for it. There's potential for it. How deep do you feel Lady Salome has gotten into like old
If
Drow heritage?
if any it, if I feel like it would be a lot, just because her family is part of like
Mm.
nobility. If it wasn't for the nobility thing, I would say not that much,
Mm.
but because she is part of nobility, I feel like that's something that her parents and her grandparents would, force the family to take part of. At first, maybe she wasn't as much interested, but now that she's a keeper, she understands why these kinds of things are important. Now, whether she can read the certain knot, maybe, out of her league, but she might at least understand some part of it
For
based on
sure.
her upbringing.
For sure, for sure. And yes, with you recognize what it is, and you know that to read it, it's a certain. They're often done in sort of like a cipher kind of system where you have to read the knots along each rope in a certain way to actually understand what it is. So it's not the type of thing where you can look at, read it. You've actually got to pick it up and you've got to go through the knots and feel it and stuff like that. But yeah, you would be able to.
Um, I would ask the owner. Who's the owner again?
He is the principal of, oh sorry, the headmaster of the academy. His name is Huitzilin.
Before we are headed towards where we're gonna rest, I would talk to him and say, I haven't seen this in a while. May I try to read it?
Yes, of course. It is a bit of a meditative practice for me. I like to spend time sort of recording my daily activities and thoughts
Oh.
on this. So it's not a personal thing. It is just everything that I do in the university and stuff. But I like to use it as meditation. But of course, feel free.
Well, I wouldn't have picked it up if I wouldn't have asked to pick it up if I knew that it was more of a recording thing. But if it's okay with you, I would like to see how it. It's very rare that I see this, even as a drow. It's very rare for me to have seen something like this. So may I just ask, where did you learn this?
My grandmother. Oh, what a wonderful woman. She was very, very traditional, and she really instilled a lot of these values in me. As she mostly raised myself and my sisters, and my parents were very, very busy at the time, which is fine. I don't begrudge them going off and doing their thing. This is part of our innate curiosity, is to discover and to learn knowledge. So, this is what they were doing, and my grandmother took care of us, and she would teach us, and I would sit and listen to her stories and learn how to do it and watch her taking her time. It's a very fond memory for me.
Thank you so much for that information. I do appreciate it. So sorry for distracting the headmaster here, but I believe my my companions and I are very tired. If we could if we could find a place to rest, that would be very wonderful. Thank you so
Yes,
much.
yes, of course. I was just about to do that for you. And you see that he ends up going to his shelf, and he pulls down what looks like a little archway made out of ivory, and he sets it down by a wall, and he begins doing a bit of incantations, and then you see that this archway doesn't physically expand, like the little icon doesn't physically expand, but there is a shimmer of golden energy in the shape of this archway that expands onto this wall into an openable door. And he says, this is a lot more than a dormitory. Feel free to enjoy yourselves. As unifiers, I'm sure with everything that happened upstairs, this is really the least I could do to show my appreciation for everything that you do for our city. But please, enjoy yourselves. It should last 24 hours, so, if I'm not here when you come out, don't worry about it. I have an open door policy, so people can come in and out.
Perfect. Thank you so much.
All right. So, I'm assuming you will open the door. Excellent. So, opening up the door, you can actually feel that the temperature has shifted, and it is just a very comfortable, slightly balmy temperature. And you walk into what feels as if it is a very nicely lit, stone-hewn, sort of half temple, half underground jungle. There's ferns growing in places. There are different rooms and different columns that are all set up. And you see that there are very small little spectral... Oh dear, we just lost somebody. Pardon everybody while we jump to a pause screen here. All right, there we go. Back in business. Internet being internet. What can we say? So, yes, and there are steps that go down, and you see that there is a sort of natural pool that seems to be spooling out of a little water or waterfall that sort of has steps going into the pool, like rock-hewn steps, and there are rock-hewn steps going up into further towers in this area, this mansion here, and there are smallish spectral entities that are waiting for you, and they offer you. As you come in, each of them offer you a little warm towel.
Oh, this is...
Yeah.
This is luxurious.
I bow and take a towel and tell the little spectral entity, thank you. Are you here for everyone?
The entity gestures its hands to all of you and bows its head. They don't speak. They are a bluish color with like streaks of gold that occasionally filter through them.
They have hands, a body.
They do, but it's like they're made out of light, basically.
Would you say that Lady Salome might be used to something like this, sort of?
This is all of you can roll an Arcana check. Imaris has a high chance of. I mean, a lot of you out of character probably already know what this is, but Imaris has a high chance of know exactly what this is.
Arcana, you said?
Yeah.
Tuxel has no idea what this could possibly be.
15?
15,
17.
18?
17, 18.
17.
Yeah, so everyone except Tuxel has an idea of what this is, and it's quite a high level spell, very very useful. You were actually given one scroll of this very same spell in case you got trapped in the vault under the Keeper's Guild. It is a spell known as Mordenkainen's Magnificent Mansion. So it is a spell that one can create their own mansion that lasts for 24 hours, and you can design it to your will, and it is filled with spectral entities which are there to help you out and to do whatever you'd like, really. If you want a foot rub, they'll do that for you. If you want them to bring you food, they'll do that for you. Pretty much everything, within reason.
Lady Salome is going to request the entity. If you please lead me to an empty bedroom, I would really love to get some sleep.
The one of the glowing entities bows to you and leads you up one of the set of stairs.
Yep. Well, good night, y'all. See you later. And then just follows.
Yeah, there are many rooms up here, and each of them are very wonderfully appointed, and the beds themselves are made out of sort of a very high quality sort of woven spider silk. They almost hang like nets, and they are just slightly above the ground and sort of like attached to columns. Very soft, very supportive. Lots of nice pillows and such for you to sort of hang in and just gently fall asleep.
Oh, yeah.
I would like to find a safe space to read.
Of course, one of the entities actually nods to you and leads you sort of into one of the other wings, where you find there is a wonderful library there. There are many, many different tomes for you to read. There is a little fireplace that can be lit if you decide to. It is absolutely lovely.
I head over and I find my book and I begin to ponder my spell book and prepare spells for the next day.
Fantastic. How
I
about...
imagine I went for that their pool
Yeah?
or whatever cleaning apparatus they had, and I imagine there was I don't know what to call it, a cloud of grime.
The pool, the pool itself is a nice temperature where where it's not hot, it's not cold, it's just like that nice temperature, and you can actually see on the stones as you get in. If any of you have been to like some saltwater pools, where you can see that some of that salt actually does build up on the sides there over time, which is funny that this touch is here, because this thing doesn't exist all the time, but that touch is there as if the salt is built up over all this time. So it's not salty water, it is it's a saltwater pool, so it's good for your skin and it's nice to swim in. You can definitely clean yourself in there. Some of the actual spectral servants do come up, and they actually, some of them are holding different brushes and scrubs and stuff and waiting there, just if you want them to give you a cleaning, they will.
Oh, I don't know if funny to think about having that arbitrary power. I don't know if Chop would go for that or not. Yeah, why not? He's feeling good.
Oh, yeah, they will give you a nice pampering.
I'm imagining the brush in the armpit specifically.
Yeah, they will give you a very nice pampering. Very nice pampering. They even give you a little massage in the pool once you're done with it. And how about Shashi? How are you spending your time in this mansion?
I probably find a room or even a small space or corner to myself and sit and do my evening calisthenic wind down stretches before crawling into, if not like a full bed, then Zashi would be perfectly fine with like a small like pallet in the corner, just something relatively comfortable. But if there's something better available, they will absolutely take advantage of it, but they're not too picky.
Excellent. Wonderful. Tuxel, I forgot. Had you said what you were doing?
These little guys remind me of the fireflies from home. It's very exciting. So I walk up and I boop one and turn into a dragonfly and play dragonfly tag for a little bit before alighting somewhere near Shock, maybe on a leaf or on a plant somewhere, just where there's a little bit of spray of water, a little bit of misting hitting her. And before you know it, there's a sleeping dragonfly.
As you, slightly before that, when you did boop the one on the nose, it actually boops you back, and when you turn into a firefly, it mimics you, and is a spiritual firefly, and you do have a little game of tag before alighting there, and falling asleep. And as all of you go into your meditations or falling asleep, once you have found your position to sleep in, Chuck, we actually are going to zoom in on you for a while. So, Chuck, you're asleep, and you're very comfortable. Your dreams are enjoyable, and the hive mind seems quite content and happy here. You know, you find in this state, it's easier to sit and commune with them and to speak with them. And it's like you have little conversations and such in your head while you are sleeping sometimes. And they share in your dreams and comment on them. And sometimes you experience dreams that are not yours, and you're aware that they're not yours. They belong to one of the colony that you are attached to. And then you find yourself on a battlefield. And it is as if you are watching from a distance. You're aware that this is a battlefield. It's not outside, though. You get the feeling and the sense from the time that you've spent in the Underdark regions and from the Myconids themselves that live in the deeper Underdark, that this is an underground space that you find yourself in. And you hear sounds which kind of sound like a kind of sound, and you hear the sound of like sort of explosions and the clang of swords and a few flashes of light from the distance, where you can see that there are pillars of these very large red crystals which are sort of blocking your view. What would you like to do?
So real quick, I'm a little confused. Did you say it was like out of body? Like I was looking down upon this, or
It's like you are viewing this. So it's not that you are engaged in this battle, but you find yourself at this place where this battle is happening and viewing what is going on.
Okay. I suppose I would want to get more of a sight on what those crystals are. Those seem to draw my attention.
All right. You begin walking forward, but it's not like you're actually walking. It has the same gait as walking, but you don't have that feeling that you're walking. It's more like your mind is processing the idea that this would sort of be what it would be like if I was walking right now, but it doesn't feel like it. And you begin to come closer to where this very large, almost spiky looking red crystal is. And you see that some of the sounds of the shing of a sword, and there's another bright flashing golden light, and the sounds of as some things are being attacked there. And you are closer to this crystal now, but also close to wherever the main bulk of whatever this battle is happening. While you're by the crystal there, make a perception or investigation check for me, your choice.
Let me check. Investigation.
Okay.
That is a dirty 20.
Very good. You are interested in this battle that's happening, and interested in this crystal too. But you see there's something inside this crystal, and you stop for a moment and sort of will yourself to look a bit closer, and you see deep inside the crystal, which is sort of like that, what's the word for it? Opaque, so semi-see-through, you know what I mean? There seems to be etched, built into the center of this crystal, some kind of glyph or rune. It's not in something you recognize. Actually, what languages does Chuck know?
Abyssal, Common, Draconic, Druidic, and Sylvan.
It is not in a language that you know. Something that does come off of this this glyph is this feeling of looking at it makes you feel queasy, like it seems to almost change in geometry as you're looking at it, like it's at odd angles, and it's static but it's not static, it's shifting but it's not, it's 3D, it's 2D. It's very disorienting to look at it, and you feel like if you were in a physical body that you would be needing to make a constitution saving throw right now, basically, because it's so foreign and alien to look at.
Good thing Chalk has a lot of experience with mushrooms.
Yes.
It makes this whole experience a little easier.
Yes. your connection with the colony has you very aware that you are in some kind of dream and or vision state.
Yeah. Okay, so with that feeling, I would probably not want to pursue any more of that. So I would probably then shift my focus to the battle, specifically the creature, the sounds. Very curious about that.
All right. You begin shifting around the side of this large red crystal, and you can see further away, a couple of 100 feet away from you, there is a very large, almost crater-esque type situation, and inside the center of this this crater there appears to be some kind of odd liquid that is in it, and in the absolute center of it there is this enormous giant brain with tentacles that seem to be whipping out, but it is also sitting on this even more enormously sized kind of throne of red crystal, and you see a figure which is appears to be an elven woman, long blonde hair, a definitely high elf, and she is dressed in full gleaming breastplate, and she has a sword in her hands, this big great sword, and it is glowing with this this golden and at the same time, it gives off this hint of gold and of white marble. It sort of alternates between these two glows. And she picks up the sword and begins to run. And as she runs, these two enormous feathered set of wings sprout from her back. But these wings themselves seem to be made out of living white and gray marble, and she flies in this sort of fury towards this giant brain at the center of it, and there's a massive flash of white and gold and this white marble color, and then the vision fades and you are in your own mind, in your own dreams. You have
Okay.
not been able to have a non-lucid dreaming experience since your merger with the colony. Whenever you dream, it's always lucid dreaming, but you are aware that you are in your own dream space right now.
Wait, sorry. Wait, so so that what I just had was not lucid, and this is now going back into lucidity.
It was definitely lucid, but you get the very strong feeling from the colony and from yourself that
that it wasn't mine.
that wasn't
and now I'm
yours.
back in mine.
Yes, that wasn't
Gotcha.
yours. And make an insight check for me.
Yeah, and I was gonna say there's a couple checks I want to make here, but I don't know if it's better to wait till I'm awakened of my own mind to do them.
Yeah.
Or to do them now. What insight?
Insight first, yes.
12.
I'm going to say actually for this specific insight check, you can have advantage because this is more a probing of the colony.
12. Only went up to 14.
14 is enough. 14 is enough for this specific check. You get the feeling and the sense from the colony that they also weren't the originators of that dream space. They don't know where it came from.
Okay. Interesting. So I wanted, hold on, I need to start. Hold up. Okay, so I wanted to do a religion check. I would assume from my time in the Bringers and so on and so forth that, and maybe this, I might be wrong, I guess, but my indication is that this would have had some relationship. I think his name is Oban. Is he the dragon of law?
Oban is the dragon of law. If you're wanting the dragon of neutrality, that's Silat.
Which one's the big marble one?
Silat.
Okay, Salat. That's okay. Yeah.
Yes.
I figured I had the name wrong there.
You don't need to roll this specific religion check because you had rolled for similar information in the previous session. You do in your dream space here recognize that what you just saw or who you just saw meets the description of the paladin, Jalan Miran.
And sorry, correct me if I'm wrong here. I don't know if was that the name of the hero?
Yes.
From the town?
Yes.
Got it. Okay. This is all making a lot more sense now. Gotcha.
All right.
Okay. So it wouldn't be too far-fetched to assume that what I just saw was her attempted vanquishing of that evil with the weapon, that legendary mythic weapon.
Yeah, it would not be. It would
rumors
not
about?
be a huge stretch with what you know.
Okay. And then the of interest is the fact that this dream has sort of happened outside of both my dream space and the dream space I'm used to, which is the ones connected to that hive.
Yes.
Gotcha. Cool. Dope.
All right.
Sweet dream.
All right. And with that, however you choose to spend the rest of your waking dreams, you all complete your long rest. Well done. You finally complete your long rest.
Well needed.
It's been a
Well
while. Yeah, it's been a real long day for y'all. So yeah, thank goodness nobody is on the verge of exhaustion. But I know that our elves in the party only need to spend about 4 hours of doing stuff before they are active again. So while Shashi and Chalk are in their own dreamlands, how are you spending those other hours in which you can do light activity?
I am just going over the events of the last few days to make sure there's nothing important that I may have missed. No details from scrying on his sister that may have been important. Things like that. And if there is a map around, he will examine the map to see if there's anything he can learn, piece anything together.
You can find a map in the library. Yes. You can find several different maps in the library. Okay. All right. So that's how you're
He
spending.
will also
hours.
do his augury to see if there's any bad ideas about going to deal with this. Not the word, not old lady witch. What's the word?
Hag.
Hag.
There's anything? That's what I'm looking for. Yes, if there's any badness of going to deal with this hag.
All right. So yes, you complete your spell. Any badness? You get a card from your tarot cards. It brings up, through the understanding of the spell, you understand that this is a woe. It is definitely lots of bad, but for the specific card that came up was the moon, which there is no moon on Thala, but you originate off-world, so your specific tarot cards do have the moon in their deck. And so what it means is I'm going to have you roll an insight check. Let's see if you can glean some further information from your card.
It's just a 12.
Just a 12. Okay. I would say the extra bit of information is that you are aware that through the nature of the spell, this card means, okay, whoa. So yes, this is going to be, there's a lot of bad stuff there. But also, the moon has different interpretations in just a regular reading. It can show to mean deception or illusion. It can also show to mean hidden truths being revealed. So with that 12, you're not sure which side of the spectrum it really falls on, whether extra truths are going to be revealed or there's some big deception that's going on.
Okay. That's all for Amaris.
How about yourself, Lady Salome?
Lady Salome would be probably, after getting enough of the beauty rest. And she normally just takes 4 hours, but you know what? She's tired. She took a little bit longer, about 5 hours, and decides to get up and walk around and explore the different facilities that this mansion has.
There are many things. You find that there is a literal meditation studio that is set up with interesting platforms and water that sort of runs around the center of a couple of things where you can go sit in different places. There is an area where people can go and practice battlecraft if they'd like to, so like a training fighting area ring. There is actually on the lower level, you find that there are other sets of pools, and these ones are like hot pools. So it's like hot spring pools. There is a very lovely dining hall where you can go and eat. There is also if you go all the way up, there is kind of like an orrery of sorts, but it is not of different celestial bodies, because in this sphere there is only Thala and the sun. This
Right.
orrery is appears to be a Maris would actually recognize a lot of this if he goes and looks up there as well. It is actually a kind of like a spelljammer orrery, where you see that there are representations of the phlogiston, which is the space that spelljammers can go on in between the different crystal spheres. And you see that there are various mapped out spheres. It's not super complete, but you can judge that this is the information that Ilin has gathered over the years from various different visitors to Thala and where their spheres might be. It's very beautiful to look at.
Lady Salome will probably go to the hot spring area and
Mm.
enjoy a nice, restful sleep. And wait, I don't know if I have minor illusions. Do I have minor illusions?
I don't know. Did you take
I'm going to look at it. I do.
it?
I am going to cast a minor illusion while I'm there, and it is going to be a scene of one of her favorite plays, and she's gonna relax and watch this minor illusion that she is, she remembers from her mind, and it's her favorite play, and that's what she does.
That's perfect. I love it. And how about Tuxel? Once you spend some time in your dragonfly nap?
When I wake up, I'll check and try to find Jock, but seeing that clearly we're deep in some sort of dream or something, fine. Fly around, stay in my dragonfly form, fly around, find all the water, skim the water, keep going up and up and up. I'm actually trying to find out, trying to find some sky or space, because I know that I'm underground and that makes me very nervous, actually. So I probably end up into this skyscape that you're talking about.
Yeah, you'd probably
Yeah.
find your way up to the orrery. It's not quite outside, but it's very beautiful.
If it feels like outside, and spend some time zipping between sphere and sphere, not really measuring, but kind of getting the sense of distance between spaces, and maybe trying to learn it a little bit. So maybe if I see this some other place or some other day, like I do at home when I'm zipping between constellations under the night sky.
Nice. That's lovely.
Eventually I'll go back and see if Shock is up yet.
Yeah, after the regular amount of time, Shashi and Shock, you are awake as well, and you actually do see that there are some spectral servants near all of you that actually they have their head bowed, and they have a hand extended towards an exit to a room as if they're wanting you to follow them.
I will follow where it leads.
Yeah, well, they lead you all into the dining hall area where you see that there is a wonderful spread that has been prepared of all kinds of delicious undercity delicacies. Many of them are mushroom related. Some of them are, there are definitely some various different meat options available. There are interesting animals that live underground as well, so they are cooked as well. Possibly a lot of them are insect related, or some kind of rodent related, or you know that Huitzilin is not a fan of fish, so you do not find any fish that is on the table.
If there's anything that I am that's new to me, that seems different, or something that I might think hasn't gotten to the knowers in general, especially like the mushroom sort of things, I would like to pocket those and just keep to bring back for a later time, for everyone else to have a look at and study.
Your earlier Arcana check was an 18, yes?
No, it was a 15. I rolled a 12.
A 15.
Plus 3, yeah.
You know what? I'm going to say that that's probably... You recognize the spell, you know what it is. I'm going to say those that rolled an 18 would definitely understand that what you're taking with you is just going to disappear out of your pockets the moment you leave this place. But your understanding of the spell's mechanics are not quite there. So, yeah.
No, that's perfect. I love that. No, but that's fantastic. Yes.
All of you are gathered for breakfast.
I'm gonna pick up
Hello,
a mushroom
everyone.
and kind of look at chalk out of the side of my eye as
Lady Salome looks relaxed and is eating her hyperfixation meal, French toast.
Nice.
Y'all have such weird. Y'all eat very strange things.
What do you eat?
I don't know what you'd call them in your language, but they're sort of like edible stones, I guess.
And
No.
you call us weird.
Hard candy. It's more like hard candy, perhaps?
Are they
I
sweet?
don't know how to explain it in your language. Some of them are sweet, some of them are sour, some of them are very planty.
He eats jawbreakers. That's
How
what
about
he
I eat something called a jawbreaker?
Are they crunchy?
Yeah.
Are they a test of endurance of some type?
Not particularly.
Mm. Oh, it's just when you said hard stones, like I really did imagine a jawbreaker. I wouldn't be surprised if that's
They
what
aren't
you
that
eat,
hard.
my dear.
Well, I mean, they aren't that hard, but why would you have a food called a jawbreaker? I don't. What
Well, I
would be the
think
The
point?
because it's
childish
right.
delight.
You're
Candy with
children.
a strength roll. Oh, that would be so funny.
But you allow your children to eat candy
We allow our
designed to
children to
break
do
their
anything.
jaws?
We allow our children to do a lot of things, Amaris. Things that you might not be aware of.
That does not seem. Does that not seem odd?
Not to us.
It's some sort of survival of the fittest. Is that how childhood works in this place?
You do it once, you're not
Yeah,
gonna do it
pretty
again.
much.
Yeah. Mhm.
Right. Well, very well, I suppose.
Speaking of stones and hard candy, I had a dream that I
That
think
is
is
not at all. The
well,
transition there is terrible, but all right.
well, you'll see. Um, the legend, I guess, of the town which we will be visiting soon to deal with these hags. Um, I was quite familiar with it from my time as a bringer. It's one of those tales that is retold over and over as a a hero story, an aspiration of what we could all be given the determination and strength of the bringers and so on and so forth. However, I saw it last night in a way that I don't think is just an imagining. I feel I experienced the entire legend as though I were there or viewing it. And it seems like it's not an accident that it's coming up now as we have sort of decided to try and assist this area in this place. But there was, what was her name? Sorry, out of character.
Oh, Jalan Miran.
Jalan Miran.
Jalan Meeran.
I need to, these notes keep getting put down, but then they get lost to the ether. Jalan Miran. But I witnessed the hero Jalan Miran wielding the power of Salat to destroy a giant brain thing, which has a whole lot of interesting metaphors. But I don't think it's, like I said, I don't think it's an accident that it happened now, especially considering it happened in a way that I've lived with these mushrooms for a while now, and I've never had a vision like that. Usually I could trace a source, and in this case, there was no source to be traced. But it might indicate this hag thing might be far more at play than just hags, is my thoughts.
It will be very bad for us to go and to defeat this, whatever entities these are. But it will also be enlightening as well.
Yeah, I'm thinking the rabbit hole goes a little deeper.
Rabbit holes typically do.
I would ask that you keep us apprised of these issues with your dreams. Perhaps write them down, keep a journal.
Yeah. I don't normally write things down, but I'll try. It is seeming like it's taking a higher and greater importance as things are evolving. There's a lot of we seem to get involved with a lot of things involving the great dragon gods, and that's that's something.
And you seem to. Well, this is new and interesting information we haven't had from anyone else, and if it seems quite vivid, and if it changes, the only way we can really know is if there's a documentation behind it.
Sorry, I need to make sure. You're a knower, right? That's the guild. Or
The
do I have
notes.
that wrong? Yeah. Yeah. Very very knower comment there. Hashtag hashtag knower
Just
life.
know.
Just knower things. There you go. Take notes.
Take notes. All the notes.
You
Anything
all
else?
enjoy your breakfast and such? Are there any other conversations you wish to have before you take your leave of the mansion?
I would like to cast Mage Armor.
Very good.
I guess to the best of my ability, I would want to describe the brain thing. Kind of opening it up to I'm aware I'm at a table with a
Mm,
bunch of people who have seen some weirder parts of existence. So
mm.
maybe someone has information I don't.
Amaris, you specifically can roll either an Arcana or a History check.
And I cast enhance ability on myself first.
Of course.
Giving myself Fox's Cunning.
All right.
Oh, well, that was a waste of a spell because I rolled a natural 20 for a 29.
Ooh.
Oof. Girl. Nice.
I know everything.
So, being that you are an astral elf, specifically on your plane, you had lived in the astral sea and such, you also came to Thala aboard a spelljammer. You are very familiar with a lot of the claims of some of these creatures that Shock was describing seeing in his dreams, which are known as Lithid. Amongst many of the Lithid, they claim that there was a time before everything else where they ruled all the spheres, where all of them were under their dominion. They give themselves credit for creating the Spelljammers as such as well. However, with your natural 20, you have never heard, even with a natural 20, you've never heard of the type of structures or structuring that Shock described seeing in his vision or his dream.
Is that specific? Is that specifically with the throne
With the throne, with the
and the crystal?
crystals, and
Okay.
and there were other details and such as well,
Yeah.
which I didn't give you specifically, but the way that was described to you was never, you don't know about. But with that natural 20, the thing that gives you a sort of oh my god experience is that the Illithid also say that they do have a homeland, but no one knows where it is or what it is. And there have been no traces on any of the worlds you've visited of this so-called original Illithid empire.
What about the Illithid? Are they generally good, generally evil in this universe? What are?
It
Yeah.
is they are very much, for the most part, a hive mind collective that is often controlled by elder brains. They were very much, for the most part, an empire minded kind of Borg-like species. But again, with your natural 20, you are very well aware that there are entire colonies of Illithid, and even a specific Illithid, is notably the one that you came on his spelljammer, Nagarthot, which broke off out of the control out of the various hive minds and are individuals in their own right. So even though the vast majority are these very imperialist, we are the Illithid, resistance is futile, a kind of people, there are exceptions to that rule.
Right, and you're absolutely confident that is what you saw. Yes.
Oh, yes, it was quite clear.
Good. So don't ever tell anyone about that ever again. Don't just
Wow.
generally don't talk about that. So I have no idea about the structures you mentioned, which is a good thing for the moment. But the creatures themselves are a race of fairly powerful and intelligent entities. We call them I believe in your tongue it's illithid, but that word is very strange. But that's not the point. They are very intelligent, and they are capable of doing quite a few nasty things. Overall, very galactically conquer other people vibes, but not all of them. But they are very terrifying to be on the wrong side of. And I guess that they are probably not wanting people to know about any of that stuff. So I would strongly recommend you not let them know that you know about it, because not good.
Well, the challenge with a lot of this hive mind stuff is I'm not always in control of what people know and don't know about my thoughts. And if this came from outside of, how do I put it? If this was forced into my perception, then I don't know if I don't know if it was on purpose, or where that information came from, or what they might know, or whoever it may have been, or if it were anybody. I'm not sure what information's already out there. This wasn't chosen. Though I expect that we will probably learn more as we approach whatever this hag issue is, and why it is their power is concentrated there.
Perhaps,
I suppose
perhaps.
places carry
Just-
power.
Yes. I mean, that is true. Just be very, very careful. They apparently do the whole hive mini minds, one ultimate mind kind of thing very well. And apparently they believe at some point they may have controlled all of existence, but then I've never seen any actual evidence of that. But they are quite good at what they do, and they are very arrogant, but not liars. Just avoid them if possible.
Yeah, can't do people that don't lie. What?
After a wonderful night in the mansion of Huitzilin, you exit into his office. It is a respectable time of the day. He is not currently there. What are all of your plans currently? You are awaiting the arrival of Huntmaster Zalas. Some of you are completing enrollment forms. Are you all completing enrollment forms? And there was the
not.
potential of checking out the library as well while you are waiting. What would you like to do?
Chalk fancies himself more of a chaperone than a student, so
I see.
that's Chalk's role here.
Zashi absolutely enrolls, and they are looking at history as well as any sort of advanced kinesthetic degrees.
So, the way that this is going to work mechanically for all of you is that when your characters do have downtime and such, you are able to use those university studies to work towards getting different feats. So there are certain feats which would allow you to get expertise in certain things. So the skilled feat is one that you would be able to take multiple times by going to university, for example. Or things that would give you like access to different spells or access to different class lists or something like that. This is not a martial academy, so it would not be something along the lines of fighting that you would get. But also, for example, let's say that there was that you have a certain subclass, right? And then certain other subclasses in your main class get access to different spells, because that happens with a lot of them. You would be able to spend some time with masters of that specific subclass and also be able to add one of those spells to your list of always prepared spells, for example. So it'll function like university, but there will be certain requirements of a certain amount of hours. I have to check the DMG what it says if you're studying towards a feat. I can't quite remember, but it tells you, and we would just work on those hours and such. And obviously, as I said, if you are enrolled as a student here, you get the spell scrolls for quite a bit cheaper. And because they want the students to actually get the decent stuff, the students have the better access to the lecturer or teacher created spell lists. Spell scrolls for learning. Yeah. So that's kind of how it would work here. So Shashi, you complete your enrollment, which is wonderful. Tuxel, are you doing any enrolling? Amaris, Lady Salome?
Oh yeah, Lady Salome is enrolling on all of the art classes and acting classes.
Fantastic.
I pick up the form and I look at it, and I just kind of look at everyone else doing their thing, and I just kind of fold it up and put it in my pocket. Like, maybe I'm going to do that later.
Fantastic. Fantastic.
Amaris is not signing up as it will take entirely too much time. It will take a few days and it's too long for him.
Lady Salome will explain to him that it does not take that long to sign up.
Yeah, the signing up is going to be pretty quick. Pretty quick. But, Amaris, if you would like to make use of your new friend's student discounts on getting some of the spells, you're definitely able to. For example, a scroll of the teleportation circle would only cost you 500 gold. And the other one, which would not function the same here as it does on other spheres, but you can still learn it if you want to, the contact other plane, yes? Would not function the same on Thala. The effects would be different because all the planes are just here, basically. But still, mentally contacted demigod, the spirit of a long dead sage, and stuff like that. So it's not contacting them from another plane; it's contacting them on Thala itself. You know what I mean? So same spell, just different understanding. But that one is also
Just calling. It's just a cell phone. They're just paying for a really expensive cell phone call.
basically, yes, basically. So, but that one would also cost you 500 gold pieces.
Yeah. Do I go with the meme or do I go take this seriously? I'm gonna take. I'll get teleportation circle. That one will be useful.
Very, very useful. If you are at the guild halls themselves, you would very easily be able to get the specific address of the one for the Keepers Guild, and obviously for the Guild of Need, the Unifiers Guild. You would, some of the other guilds in the city, you'd have to speak to them, request access to copy down the circle, blah, 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 but still super useful.
Okay.
All right.
I will start scribing that later.
Fantastic. You have purchased your spells, and are you going to be visiting that specific lecturer? Mistress, oh gosh, I had her name. Did I close the window? Was I a silly Billy? Of House Bagheera, anyway. The green dragonborn noble mistress. It started with an O. Why did I close that window? I don't think I closed the window. I just went to the wrong one. I think it was Otil as well. Oh, here it is. Oh gosh, yes. Close. Otli. Ohtli.
I think perhaps we really should go talk to this person who might be able to help us. But particularly since I'm kind of worried about Chuck's dream and what Amaris said, if this goes deeper, if there are lots of burrows in this rabbit hole, we're going to need a lot of help, as much as we can get.
And this is the woman that's going to talk about hags.
She is essentially a biology professor.
Gotcha.
Essentially. A bit different, but you know.
Yeah. I think attending that is crucial.
Maybe if they're giving a lecture, we can audit the class, and then I can decide if I want to sign up.
All right.
This class feels within the scope of things I would be interested enough in to audit, if that's an option.
Well,
I
you
still don't fully understand how this works.
I think you give them money, and then they give you a piece of paper that tells other people that you're supposed to know things.
But you don't give them money. University on this planet is free.
Or I've heard, but could be wrong.
You do pay for your dormitory though. You've got to pay for your dormitory and your own supplies, but you don't pay for the university.
But I don't understand. What is the point of the paper?
The paper just lets other people know that you
Or a student.
a series of boxes and you are theoretically qualified to talk about whatever it is you're qualified to talk about on the piece of paper.
Or can I just write that I'm qualified on a sheet of paper and all that count?
Some people do.
It should.
You have to prove that that piece of paper is a valid piece of paper. There's a lot of stamping, a lot of magic in it. You can't just write randomly on a piece of paper.
Higher
that you're
education's a
qualified.
money-making racket. Wait, what? Well, not in Thala, but anyway.
Oh my goodness, this university has ghosts.
You get-
That's cool.
Do you remember that one scene in Parks and Rec where Ron is just like, "Don't worry, I have paperwork," and all it says is, "I can do this."
Well,
Not seeing the point, but if you say so.
asking around a couple of these students that you might see in the hallways and various different areas, you eventually do find the lecture hall that currently Mistress Otley is giving a lecture in. And as you go into sort of like the pews and stuff like that, pews, I'd call them pews because it's like a row of chairs basically, right? It's not a church, but you'd call them pews, wouldn't you?
Used to be
Benches.
If it's an
bench-like.
auditorium, I guess there's different kinds of classrooms.
Yeah, because it'll be like an auditorium style, and then
A lecture hall?
a lecture hall. Yeah, but the seats we'd call them pews. They're benches, but yeah, no, yeah.
benches.
Either way, the seats, the seats with the things. Everyone, make a perception check for me. I'm going to tell you what the lecture is currently at the moment, but I want to see if you spot something.
I'm gonna make it a disadvantage because Amaris is bored.
It's a 21.
Nice.
15.
15, 18.
A
21.
disadvantage is a 10.
All right. So both Chuck and Tuxel. Wait, Salome, what was yours?
18.
18. Chuck, Tuxel, and Lady Salome. You do see a familiar figure seated in sort of like the third row from the front on the left. Short, messy blonde hair, sort of a broken nose.
Oh.
Trying to take some notes. You see who we affectionately call Noman Wilson, but Tunak.
Is there any seat anywhere near him?
Yeah, you can sit by Tunak if you'd like to.
Oh, I sit right directly next to him, like almost on top of him. Do you like this class?
Oh, hey, it's you. What are you doing? I don't think we're
Good.
supposed to talk during a lecture,
Oh,
but I don't really understand what she's going on about.
I sit right behind Tuxil, silently paying attention to the class.
Oh, hey, we're square, right? I mean, we got everything done. I don't owe you money, right?
I think we're fine.
It's good to see you. Yeah, no, I think she's a good teacher. It's just I've got to bone up a bit more, you know.
I'm
Like,
sorry, could you repeat what you said?
I was just saying I got to bone up in my studies a little bit more, you know. Because
Yeah, that's what I thought you said.
was my phrasing off?
It's a little weird.
Do you have a pencil? I
Yeah.
forgot mine.
Yeah,
I
here you
heard
go.
that's what you say in university.
He hands you a pencil, a little notebook. Here, I've got lots.
That's weird, but cool. Thank you.
Oh, I forget things all the time and I lose them, so it's just. And you hear a sort of cough from the front as you see this quite tallish, green skinned, dragonborn woman, and she has some glasses on her face, and she is dressed in sort of a it's not it's kind of a robe style ish, but it is still very open in places. There's a lot of skin that gets shown, as is the style and the custom amongst most of the Dragonborn, as they are all considered nobility here. And she has on her green skin there is a specific red colored stained paint, which is very much in their style, and she has a it is almost it's made out of well, it's like a torque, but it's made out of like pieces of rectangular obsidian which go around her neck like that, and she sort of coughs and sort of as I was saying, the biology of the Behir is very interesting. They are known to be protective spirits of various natural places. However, once they reach the end of their lifespan, they are unpredictable and become a bit violent, as they are responsible for controlling the weather on Thala. It is the right and privilege given to them by the gods, and it is often the case where the Enders will take it upon themselves to lay Behirs to rest once their time has come, and the energy is redistributed into Thala, and another Behir is birthed somewhere else to take their place. And she goes on a bit more now. You've all experienced this firsthand when you had to take down the Behir that was closest to Moranzan, that had reached the end of its lifespan and had started sort of slipping into a form of rage-filled, I would say, dementia, maybe? In a sense, I guess. And you had laid it to rest and lost a colleague in the process from the Guild of Enders, but she was very gung-ho about it and totally expected to die anyway, so she was alright with it. The lecture continues about all these things, and it's quite interesting. She goes into the inner workings of many of these creatures and how they are different depending region to region and might have different abilities. Not all of them produce lightning, some of them produce different effects, and after about 45 minutes, as you had arrived into the lecture, the lecture finishes, and all of you are able to continue potentially approaching the lecture if you like.
I want to spend the
Was that-
lecture flipping through the notebook and seeing if there's anything in here.
A lot of doodles. A lot of doodles.
And
Comics of all his fantasy movies he wants to play in if ever he had the chance.
Yeah.
Him with a dog,
Mhm.
Marley.
feel as if we could have just learned all of that in a book.
Probably.
Yeah.
But you know, I don't want to get like kicked out of the makers as well. Like, I think third time's the charm, you know. Because I still don't understand why I have to take biology, but it's fine.
I suppose I would approach. What was her name one more time?
Mistress Otley.
Oatley.
Yes.
I love when I take notes. I just write their names based on what I think, what it sounds like.
OHTLI. So it is very phonetic.
I put oat, OAT, dash Lee, Lee.
I mean,
Oatley.
it's your notes. As long as you get it phonetically correct, it's all good.
And I would, I guess, excuse me, could I have a moment of your time?
Yes, of course, young man. Are you new to the academy? I don't believe I've seen you in my class before.
Yeah, I'm more of a chaperone than a student. The very interesting lecture. A lot of it holds true from my experience, and I was wondering if you could help me with a hag problem.
Quite possibly, yes. To what variety are you inquiring about?
Oh no.
The little girl eating kind?
Unfortunately, that seems to be most of them.
Oh.
I'm not sure, both in and out of character, how much information we have on that.
You know the topography of the area. You know that the attacks seem to always happen at night, and once people wake up, the children are gone, and nobody seems to, even though watches are set and everything, nobody seems to remember falling asleep. As the older gentleman had told you.
Yes, and I would probably also include if there's any reason that hags would be attracted to places of, I guess, maybe places of concentrated power.
Well, I would say with the information you've given me, considering that this takes place at nighttime and the memory loss, places of power, I assume you mentioned the village of Ilin and all that type of stuff.
The fishing village, etc., etc.
I know the legends, yes. The Paladin Jalanmir and the places of power. I would say if they are correct in their assumptions, there is a higher likelihood, considering the valley nature and the fact that they come out at night, and if they are placed upon a position of power, that you might be dealing with the more demonic and less fey-related hags. I believe they are classified under many names, but commonly known as night hags. And Amaris, with your previous check that you had made and done very well on, and I said once you'd gotten more information or somebody to put some pieces together, you're now able to fill in a lot more blanks as well. You were specifically wondering about, what they might be capable of or not capable of, and what might be interesting or helpful ways to damage them. We had already spoken about the silver. You understand that that holds true for these specific night hags. Again, if your weapons are magic, you don't need silvered weapons. If they are not magic, you would need silvered weapons. These specific hags don't respond that much to cold-based and fire-based damage. And as Dew had pointed out, a lot of hags are sort of immune to charming magic. And the professor would give you some of this as well.
Yes, so do not attempt to use your elemental abilities, or well, specifically for cold and heat. Lightning, I suppose, should be fine, though I've never heard of anyone using lightning specifically. Oh, yes, magical weapons. No attempting to charm or influence. Shouldn't be too much of a problem. It may put you to sleep as well. So, if you can sleep, I would be careful about that as well.
Yes, and if you are dealing with more than one, which is likely in the terms of these night hags, their spell casting abilities are much more potent when they are in a coven. There would need to be at least 3 of them to form a coven of sorts. Although the fact that they are abducting children, as you say, perhaps they are seeking to replenish lost members of their coven. Oh, but a coven can grow beyond 3, which just increases their power. One more thing.
Do they have to be touching each other for their extra power to take effect?
No, they do not. It is I forget the word in common. Do any of you speak Draconic?
Believe so.
I do.
Okay, she'll say the word in Draconic, which is more of a concept word, but it is the concept for a bond based upon a mutual pact. But it is a single word, but it is a word that carries that concept. I forget this word in common. I apologize.
It doesn't exactly translate.
No, I find it does not. Oh, one thing. I would be exceptionally careful about falling asleep in that area, as these hags have the ability to enter into your dream space and, perform certain rituals which can corrupt your soul and potentially steal it.
Just another day in the Unifiers Guild.
I do not sleep, so I do not worry about such trivialities. Shall we be off?
I have class.
Are you serious about that? I thought that was...
I have acting classes.
Yeah, there are children that are in danger. And my sister, who's also in trouble.
Did the hag steal your sister?
I don't know. Perhaps they may have had a part in this. I don't know.
I thought, don't we need to wait a little bit longer before we go, or do we go now?
We're waiting for the hunter person, aren't we?
The Huntmaster, Huntmaster Zalas. Speaking of which,
ring, ring, ring.
you do actually get a slight vibration on your badges, which lets you know that you're going to be contacted. And you hear in your heads, I'm about an hour away. Are you ready to leave? Did you speak to Ilin? Is he going to get us there?
Who are you talking to? I've forgotten.
All
Sorry.
of you. It's
All of you.
he's contacted you in the group chat.
Oh, in the group chat.
Yeah.
An hour? I have a class. I mean, yes. Hunter Zalas, we should be ready to go. Do you think I'll be making it in time back for my other classes? This is me just thinking it out loud, not sending it to Hunter Zalas.
Yeah. I'm sure you can attend at least one. An hour's an hour. How long can a class be?
Awesome. I'll see you guys later. There's a acting class that I really want to look at. And then I
Oh,
Zoom off to class.
zoom off to class with my little notebook.
wait, how I don't know how long any of these periods
Do you want
are.
to come with me, Amaris? I'm gonna show you something.
No, not really.
Well, it's too bad, because you're coming. Do you guys want to watch? I mean, not watch. Do you guys want to attend acting class with me, please?
I'm supposed to go. Like, Tunok is still there. He's been tagging along. I'm supposed to go to, like, Mechanics 207.
Mechanics is so boring. Let's do an acting class together and get our, our stiffness loosey goosey. What is Lady Salome
gonna
right
go
now?
for
I don't
an
even know.
She's just super excited about learning.
I
Lady
imagine
Sal-
her like a mix between Hermione and Draco Malfoy.
Honestly,
Like a weird
I don't know
combo.
what's
seen
going
her like
on.
this,
Lady Salome
ever.
is being like not royalty right now. She's just excited about classes. So she's like, come on, you guys. I haven't been to a normal school. I've been homeschooled all my life. So I really want to see what normal classes are. And you guys have to come with me.
Lady
Don't you
Solomon,
all wish to prepare?
I'm interested in this exploration of emotions and personality. I will attend
Perfect.
these acting classes with you.
Yes.
I will
Chalk,
chaperone.
perfect.
Well,
Tuxil?
well,
I guess so.
Sweet. Amaris, you're coming because
well,
you're the only one left.
there's a fight. We are fighting.
And then I just
hags,
grab,
but
grab Amaris's hand and sort of like drag him with me as we go.
I'm dying. It's great. I love it.
It'll only be an hour. It's not long.
These words mean nothing to me.
I know. That's why I just said it.
All
Therefore,
right.
you're coming.
So you do make your way to your acting class, which you are enjoying there, and this is sort of like they're spending the day doing like getting into improv stuff. So there's a lot of like the yes and thing going on. Why doesn't everyone just roll a performance check for me to see how well you yes and?
I am good. I'm better.
I'm rolling with
So
disadvantage.
excited about this.
You can't just decide to roll with disadvantage.
Of course you
have to,
can. You're always welcome to.
no, I refuse.
Rolled a 3. I rolled a 3.
Performance?
Performance.
I
Did you
got
get
24.
I rolled a natural
22.
20, but I have a -2.
still natural 20s, natural 20s?
Yeah.
I got 22.
Yo. How about Tuxel? How's Tuxel's yes and?
I got a 3.
So
Hey.
Tuxel, Amaris, you don't really get it. Like, the man clearly does not have like a bowl of exploding worms in his hands. His hands are empty. Like, why is he pretending to throw you this thing? You're not getting the concept, but the rest of you, you're flowing and you're making scenarios, you're yes-anding. It is outstanding. Gosh, I don't have Tunok's character sheet up, but hell, let's see how he does. I'm just gonna,
While you're rolling, Lady Salome is acting her butt off as Liam the vampire. And it is a love story that she is building with Liam the vampire. And she's thinking about an eldritch god, Zoe.
I love it. I love it. Good throwback to earlier today. Fantastic. If you want to find out what Glass is talking about, catch us on May 7th during our charity stream for
Exactly.
Moon May.
That's what you need to check out.
That's what you
because
need to
it's
check
very
out.
important.
Indeed. Yeah. Tunok also is not getting it, which is not surprising. He's on his third guild now. Like, he seems to be doing better with the makers so far. But still.
It's a work in progress.
But yeah, the hour passes. All of you have fun with your improv class or not. And after it is finished, you leave the class and you actually do see, leaning against one of the exits to the room that you are in, there is the 6'4", strapping broad shoulders, sort of like white haired, and he's very yellow eyes, pointed elven ears, the figure of Huntmaster Zalas. And he has a raised eyebrow. And what's everyone's passive insight?
18.
18.
17.
17. 16.
12.
So Shashi and Tuxel and Lady Salome, you can tell that he has a very, very slight smile on his face. It's slightly there, as if he was finding it amusing, but wouldn't say anything.
What's so funny?
I didn't realize you were all becoming bards.
You have to be always learning,
I
Master.
learned nothing.
That's because you weren't paying attention. And then I look at Hunter
There
again.
was nothing there.
I tend to agree with you. He's looking at Mars. But it is good to see you all alive and well, especially considering the events that took place. Have you spoken to Huitzulin? Have you managed to get him to provide his services, or are we taking the cedars?
We
No.
didn't believe we got him to help us, right?
No one specifically asked yet. No.
Oh, we didn't. I can. Does this place have a teleportation circle?
It does not, no.
We should probably go and ask him. See, we should have spent that hour doing that instead of whatever that was.
First of all, that was
It
my
would've been a
class
far
and it was
more effective
important.
use. It was, you just found out about it today.
It was
Mm,
odd.
it's-
It was like some sort of survival class. Like it kept
was
offering
great.
us food that wasn't there. It was like some sort of test.
Yes. It was a great
found
test.
it enlightening and educational.
I think I probably should have gone to Mechanics 207.
Didn't you have a good time,
Yes.
though?
Yeah.
See? You had a great time.
Yeah, you're right. What can I say? You're right. It was fun, but I didn't do well, but it was fun.
It's okay. That's why we have classes. You're not supposed to be perfect in the beginning. You're just learning.
I've been here for like
Can we do
12
this?
years.
Yeah, but in acting?
Oh, no.
See?
Can we get a certificate now?
No, not yet.
Need
You
more
don't,
than
definitely.
1 hour before you can claim to be an expert or knowledgeable about a thing. And it does takes time to learn a thing, and the basis of knowledge is knowing that you know nothing.
Yeah, that's what everyone keeps telling me.
That you know nothing?
Yeah. Anyway, I'm gonna go. I'll see you all later.
See ya. I'll see you in classes.
Yeah, okay. He waves
Um,
goodbye.
How long of a ride is it on the Steeders?
So the Steeders would take you, I think I said 3 or 4 days. On the river, it would take you a week.
Or we can teleport. Like,
Yeah,
we
depending.
usually are.
Yeah. Teleportation could take you there. Could
Alright.
immediately,
So I guess,
potentially.
yeah, I guess I'm on team. Let's go ask then.
All right. It doesn't take you too long to find Headmaster Huitzilin. He is just in the process of giving a class, and it is on the quantum differentials of the weave of magic. It's Amaris might find that a little bit more interesting, but it is advanced stuff. You can tell that the class that he is leading is like post-grad stuff, and more along the lines of developing new magic and that type of stuff. But he finishes up his lecture, and he looks at Zalas and holds out his hands like this. Come on, bring it in. I mean, you know you've been wanting to see me. You just haven't come. And Zalas he gives like a, you still owe me money. I mean, it's like 50 gold, and if I give you the money, you don't come to see me. You understand my predicament. We need a teleportation. Please. All right. And he looks to all of you. Where are you going? Is this the place with all the fish? Because, I mean, I'm not coming with you, just so you're...
We're going to save children.
That's fine, but, if
From
I...
the fish?
There are fish in the place that the children need to be saved?
It's a fishing
Are there?
village, yes?
Fishing village.
Oh!
None
thought
of
we
you
were gonna
really
go
listened
under
to
the water.
explanation. Did you guys not get the explanation? It was given to us.
I was too busy
You should've-
acting.
I am feeling there are several uses for that hour that would have been more effective.
You know what? I'm getting tired of you being mean to me. We're supposed to be a team. You and I specifically. But if you keep doing this, it's gonna hurt my feelings.
Lean over to Shashi. Is this a relationship? Is that
It may be a relationship. Whether or not it's healthy is yet to be determined.
We need that in the meme with the anime thing. Is this
A
relationship?
relationship? That little butterfly.
Yeah.
Two people bickering.
Is
this a
this
relationship?
So, Huitzlin says, I can try. Of course. I've never been to the place. It has no teleportation circle. I know it by description. So, you might end up pretty far off or inside the middle of a mountain. It is the nature of the spell.
or we
What's the
ride for
likelihood
3
that we will end up
days?
lost?
I am
Oof.
not.
25% or so.
From what I understand about the way the school operates,
Well, actually, more than 25%. Sorry, because yes, this is the odds that something might go wrong. Around 43%.
This is a weird world.
I have never been there. If I had been there before, or if I had something from there, it would make it easier.
What if we found that little old man and brought him back? He's been from there. We'd have to find him.
That might help.
I've seen the village, right?
No, you've
I don't
not
remember if I've
seen
been
the
there.
village. Shock has been there.
Oh yeah, then I have been there.
Chalk has been there. You were aware of the village, I believe, but you have not seen it, Amaris. If well,
We use a combination of minor illusion to show this person what the village looks like.
I also might. Is there any availability in my sporings? Can I memory bullet them with a spore?
yes, yes, you can. I will let you make a charisma check.
Oh God, no. Where's my?
You can do it. Be charming. You got this.
I will cast
Charisma.
enhance ability.
Oh, my charisma's not bad. I forgot I was a goat man.
So
I will give them
advantage on it.
Yeah, it's a eagle's splendor.
Very nice.
So I get advantage.
Yeah.
So at least a 16. Yeah, 16.
16 is enough. Shock, without warning, lets off a whole bunch of spores. And all of you, in your mind's eye, get the image of this village that you are seeing as Chuck had visited it once before for a bit of time. You are seeing the statue that is in the center of the town of Jalan Miran, and you are seeing the docks there and some of the cliffs that are nearby, but you are seeing it, and then Huitzilin goes, I mean, maybe warn someone next time that you want to let spores off in their face. You know, it's that little bit of warning which lets you say, no, I don't want it, somewhere else, please. That definitely helps you. Thank you. Helps me. Thank you. That brings our odds a bit higher. A bit higher. But still, we still have round about a 33% chance of failure. But it's better than 43.
And it is. It is.
Okay. Well,
Can we take the notes with us if we end up way off track, or is that too many things?
let me count. Unfortunately, I do have to go with you before I can go back. So let us see. There are 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. We would not be able to take any mounts.
Okay. It was worth asking.
Technically speaking, we could take one mount because I can take 9 altogether, including myself. But, is there anything you'd like before you leave to prepare for this mission?
I will ritually cast telepathic bond.
Mm.
And everybody but the teleporting person, because there's 8 of us total, right?
Mm-hmm.
Or is there 9 of us total?
8 of you total.
Then yeah, everybody.
All right, very good. So, why is it not giving me... Oh, it's only verbal. Interesting. I thought there was a component cost for teleport. Well, Huitzilin actually leads you outside into one of the quad areas where there is more space. And he says, right, just stand in a circle here and, hold on tight. Everybody roll a d6 for me.
Oh, no.
Boy.
Oh man, making me go on my dice bag.
5,
4.
3, 2, 1.
3.
I got a 1.
Tuxel's gonna get
Alright.
a 2.
Nobody.
Lady Salome, you are our designated one. You're going to roll the d100.
All right.
Oh boy, oh boy, oh boy, oh boy.
Kill us. Drop us in the volcano.
D100, you said?
Yes, indeed.
Spooky.
That is
Was that what you
28.
said about loving loyalty?
28.
Mm-hmm.
Okay.
Getting dropped in the volcano.
All right. So, Huitzlin begins to speak, and you can see that as the words leave his mouth, they leave these traces of purple and gold in the air as the spell forms glyphs that end up surrounding your entire party. And as the glyphs are surrounding each of you, they form a barrier that glows brightly, and then there is a sort of implosion, sucking sound and feeling of as you get sucked and pulled away, and you can feel yourself being pulled and traveling towards where you are going. And even though it takes almost an instant, you catch flashes of different landscapes and different areas and trees and mountains, but it's all moving so quickly, and then it's moving so quickly that you realize that you're literally heading through the heart of a mountain, and you all start feeling intense pain. And you take not too bad, actually. You take 16 points of force damage, 16 points of force damage, but you find yourself landing in front of the statue of Jalan Miran in the center of this village. But, you're, it still feels like, did I have pieces of mountain in my guts? Like, do I have a stone inside me right now?
Yes.
And Huitzlin goes down on one knee, puts a hand up. I think I'm going to throw up. I'll make a Constitution saving throw.
Needs
He's
to
right.
improve its magic.
And he's like, Oh, God. I'm okay. I'm okay. Oh, that was extremely unpleasant, but at least we didn't end up inside the mountain. So it's interesting. We rolled on the mishap tale. You rolled a mishap there, Glyza, which means I need to re-roll again to see where you wind up. So multiple mishaps can occur, but on the second roll, I rolled an 87, which lands you on target. So you did go through a mountain and took some force damage, but you ended up
I mean, at least we
on
ended up where we ended up.
target. And you all sort of come to your feet, those of you who did fall down from a bit of pain, and you have a look around at this sort of sleepy looking village, and in the distance you hear what sounds like the sound of music playing, people laughing, and it seems as if, as you look around, there look to be banners that are hung up, written with the name of Jalan Miran on the banners. And you see, not too far from where you are, closer to where the docks are, there is a pitched stake of wood where people would hitch their boats or their ships to, but almost like, definitely nailed to it, and seemingly with its innards ripped out, you see a very dead looking, hideously skinned, grotesque, slightly feminine creature, which seems to have its guts all on the floor. And there is where we will end for tonight. Thank you all so much for joining Thala Unbound. If you missed the VOD, you can catch it on YouTube. And stay tuned for next week as we dive further in. Thank you very much, everybody. We love you. Bye-bye.